Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Well, very soon, Nigerian team, that's the Flamingos, will be traveling to India for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. That'll be starting from October 11 to 30th of October. The ladies are right now preparing. Just yesterday, they traveled, they moved to the India High Commission to meet with the High Commissioner there. Well, good morning, the fact that they were hosted by the Indian High Commissioner. Well, at least you have to appreciate the fact that they're trying to make a move to see how they can do well in India for that courtesy call on the India High Commission. Well, good one. I have in the studio Ibrahim Yusuf, who will be joining me to talk sport this hour. Good to have you, Ibrahim.
Yeah, always nice to be here, Denny. Thanks for having me.
Our ladies, they went to the India High Commission just yesterday to see how they can have a good working relationship with the Indians, right? They'll be going to India for the World Cup, and right now the India High Commissioner hosted them. Felicitated with them that, okay, you are coming to our country, you need visa, you need this, we want to get, at least, I'm happy for the fact that we have good rapport with India, the host nation, and that actually shown in the way they accepted the ladies, the way they welcomed them. That will give them a lot of morale boosting kind of situation that by the time they get to India, even the authorities really welcomed us.
Actually, I would really like to commend the officials of the team for organizing something like this. I mean, like, you're going to India, they have a High Commission here, all right? Okay, let's go and visit these guys and make them feel good about themselves so that we can have a very good reception when we get there. And of course, you just made mention of something. I mean, like, they need visas, they need these documents to be able to make things go smoothly. And by having this particular sort of engagement with the High Commission, they're smoothing their way to actually getting those things done in good time. We've had situations before where we've seen teams not being able to travel, or team members not being able to travel because of visa issues, not getting things done on time and the rest of it. So I really like to commend the officials for organizing something like this, because it's actually very good, so that they can be able to go there, have a very good relationship, and then things will be easier for them.
Well, good one. At least issue of visa issues won't be there. At least they have good rapport now. We're actually looking at that story where the ladies now going to India. We saw what happened to the senior ones in Costa Rica. It wasn't a too smooth kind of journey, but this time around we are hoping that the ladies will be able to do well as they go to India. That's the High Commissioner there, at least felicitating with the girls that, well, he knows they are very young, but he's hoping to see another Oshuala or Dega or Kobe, or a lot of stars that we actually have in our team, to be able to, at least from these new young teams, we need to get more of those old players or star players who are right now, little by little, they are going out, but we need to at least replace them with these young ladies. They just, after the World Cup, rather, the Under-20, we got 4 players from the Under-20 to join the Super Falcons. And who knows, from this Under-17, we can get more to move to Under-20 and even move to Super Falcons.
That is the main objective of having this kind of age grade teams. You understand? That's why you have the Under-13s, the Under-15s, Under-18, Under-17s, Under-19s, and Under-21, Under-23. That's why you have all these teams. You have them so that they can be able to serve as a conduit, all right? You're playing under, a person from playing under 10 will graduate to playing under 15. From under 15, you go to under 17. Under 17, you go under 18. That is how it goes. It's a progression before you finally make it to that national team. And once you have the talent, and the talent is there and it's willing to be nurtured, definitely you can go places. So that's the important thing about these age grade teams. We just saw what happened. The Under-20, they graduated, you said 4 players, which is not bad, graduating to the Falcons now. If we can get another 4 players to graduate now to the Under-20 from this crop of from this group of girls to actually move into the Under-20 now, and of course plug in the space left by those other players. So it's something that we can actually look forward to. So it's a good one, and we do hope that there's a lot of hope on these girls, this particular group of girls, yes, because of their performances and how they play and how good of a team they actually are. We know what they can do. So there's lots of hope on these girls, and we actually believe that they were going to go to India and make us proud.
They will make us proud by the time they get to India, as India High Commissioner hosts Nigeria and team the Flamingos. Under 17 women will be playing over there in India. They'll be facing New Zealand, Chile, and also Germany. And we believe that the ladies will fight very, very hard, although they can conquer, as we expect them to do. We wish them all the best as they move to India for the World Cup. Well, while we're talking about that, let's quickly go to Europe as we look at some fixtures in the Uefa Nations League that will be coming up today, this evening. Matches will be played, and quickly let's look at those fixtures as will be coming up in the UEFA Nations League. Georgia will take on North Macedonia, Gibraltar against Bulgaria, Estonia, Malta, Germany, Hungary. You have Italy against England, big match there. Bosnia and Herzegovina against Montenegro, and you have Finland against Romania. Ibrahim, you look at two big matches here. That's Germany, Hungary, and you have Italy, England. In fact, Italy, England is like a war.
Exactly. That's like that's the major one that you actually. That's the one that jumps at you immediately. You see those fixtures. I mean, that's the first thing that you see. The first thing you see is Italy playing England, which is an absolutely amazing European clash. Yes, Germany playing Hungary. Yeah, a few decades ago would have been absolutely fantastic. Though the Hungarian team is on the rise now, but they're not the Magyars that we used to know. So I mean, like, it's not that fantastic. But when you look at Italy, England, you know that it's actually a game that you would love to see. Lots of fantastic players on both sides, and actually a lot of players now lots of English players now playing in Italy. So you love to see how that pans out. You understand? We have like Tammy Abraham is there. Fikayo Tomori there,
yes,
as well. Exactly, there as well. So you like to see how that experience playing in Italy actually plays into.
And you know, they are going to be facing Italy, so the Italian side, they've actually incorporated. You have to use it against the Italian team.
Exactly. So that's the thing. So I think it's going to be a very good game, very good and a nice watch. So Italy will not be going to the World Cup, which is disappointing for them. But still, this is an opportunity for them to make a very good mark by going out there and winning the Nations League. I think it's a very good thing for them. But they're in a tight group, a very, very tight and difficult group as well, because you have lots of good teams there. I mean, like, you have Germany there, England, and it's absolutely fantastic. So it's a very good group that we always like to see, and it's a match that I'm seriously looking forward to.
Well, Germany-Hungary.
Germany-Hungary, just like I said earlier, a few decades ago, this would have been an absolutely explosive match, because West Germany playing Hungary back then is absolutely fantastic. But just like I said, they're not what they used to be now, Hungary, but they are on the ascendancy. They're trying to get back there. They have some one or two fantastic players there coming through the ranks, and they're trying to build, but they're not the Magyars that we know that Hungary is or was back then, because back then the Hungarians.
I still remember the man that made the award for Puskas.
Exactly. I mean, like, way back then, they were amazing. They were an amazing side.
I think one of their team won Champions League, Ferencváros or
exactly.
Yes.
I mean, like, they were fantastic back then. When you talk about European football, you had to mention Hungary, because they have that history. Yeah, they have amazing players, but they're not what they used to be now. But they're on the ascendancy. They have one or two good players that are coming up in Europe. And it will also be a good game, a very good test for Germany as well, who are trying to get their acts together, sort of, after their own golden generation got phased out, and now they're trying to make something new out of the whole situation. I think it's a good one for them. So it's going to be a very good match to watch, but still, it doesn't beat Italy, England. It doesn't.
Italy, England, big match that will be coming up in the UEFA Nations League there. Just to let you have a feel of those matches that will be coming up today. And quickly, let's look at the fact that we have a FIFA window where a lot of countries will be playing friendlies and also playing any other qualifier. Some matches were played yesterday. Let's look at the result of the international friendly result between Australia and New Zealand. They're actually neighbors from the same.
Yeah, that's a derby. That's a local derby.
So whoever wins, either New Zealand win or Australia, is always good.
It's the same thing, yeah.
I think in Australia, New Zealand, and which other country actually stay in that continent?
So that's the thing. I mean, like, it was due to the lack of competition that's actually within that place geographically. That's why Australia has to move to the Asian Football Federation now.
To join them.
That is actually where they play their qualifiers from.
Seriously?
Yeah, because if they say they are going to play with the likes of New Zealand, Tonga, and all the rest of them,
Samoa.
Exactly, and they're just going to keep beating everybody and going through. You understand?
90.
But still, 1-0 against New Zealand. New Zealand is not known for their football.
Yes, but you know the fact that they are actually neighbors.
Yeah.
Expect that they should be able to understand themselves.
Exactly.
But New Zealand are known for rugby.
Exactly.
They are very good in rugby, cricket, and all that.
That is what they are actually known for. They are known for their rugby. They are not known for their football. But I mean, like the Socceroos have been there. They've been around for a very long time and they've been doing it. So I think even to lose 1-0 against Australia is a very good result for New Zealand. It says a lot about what they're doing.
After all,
and the progress they've made.
It's not Kiwi that is playing.
I mean, like it's the Kiwis against the Kangaroos.
Kangaroos versus Kiwi.
Yeah, so you can imagine that.
To go. Well, New Zealand and Australia having so many culture there. Talking about football here. Well, Australia actually show class. Comoros, Tunisia were able to pick them 1-0. Talking about the international friendly that took place just yesterday. While we're looking at that, let's move on to the one that will be coming up today. Some friendly will also be played, and we have Mali against Zambia. That will be another big one. This African match, and let's see how the Chipolo of Zambia have emerged strong enough to face Mali. There you have Morocco. The Atlas Lions will be playing against Chile. Another very, very cunning team. Chile, the Chileans, they play good football. They'll be playing against Morocco in a friendly. And also, you also have Mali versus Zambia.
Yes, Morocco-Chile is an interesting one. I think we will have two contrasting styles there. I mean, like North Africans playing against the South Americans. So it's going to be the two contrasting styles to actually look at there as well. Mali, Zambia, yes, it's a home affair. We're Africans, we all know each other. So we just go there and, and we'll just go there and beat each other. So there's no problem.
Whoever wins.
Exactly, whoever wins. But it's going to be an interesting one as well. Mali, we know, had have very strong players. And even Zambia, Zambia are on the rise now.
Seriously?
They're getting some very good players through the ranks, and they're doing some fantastic work. And so I think it's going to be quite an interesting one.
I'm impressed with Zambia for one thing, because after that the plane crash that affected the entire squad, except for Kalusha Buaya and some people that actually escaped, they were able to get other players.
You know, back then they were fantastic.
Very, very fantastic.
Back when they were the KK11 of Zambia. I mean, like, they were fantastic. An amazing team. They were on the rise. And then, unfortunately, that plane crash happened, yes, and wiped out the entire team. But they still were able to come back. Even made the finals of the Nations Cup.
Yes.
You understand, and before Nigeria ruined the party, but still they were able to do that and come back and still keep on building. You know, after that, they had to reset everything and then start rebuilding from scratch, which is absolutely fantastic. To see where they are today, it's a real testament to the level of commitment and of the administration to be able to do something like that. I think Zambia deserve a lot of credit, which I don't think they get. They don't get a lot of credit, because if you look at it from that tragedy till now, what they've been able to achieve is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. And if you look at their women, they just did the payback to Nigeria. The women all come, and they were able to defeat us to actually make the third position. I love the fact that Zambia, against all they've really, just like you said, they have not been given that much credit. They've been doing so well when it comes to football, both male and female. And just have to comment Zambia. Well, they'll be playing a friendly against Mali, and you have Chile facing Morocco. That will be happening also in the international friendlies that will be coming up today. Although Nigeria will be playing against Algeria on Saturday. That's Algeria Team B. While on Tuesday, they'll be facing the main Desert Warriors of Algeria by Tuesday in Oran, Algeria there. Well, international friendly that we just brought to you, and some other results that come from the international friendlies and also Uefa Nations League. Now, we quickly have to move on. We talk about, a team called OGC. Right now, they are really in need of a manager, and they've been looking at different managers. But right now, former FC Bournemouth boss, Scott Parker right now is emerging as a potential candidate to become the coach or manager of OGC. Scott Parker right now, is the main man that they want to get, and if they can't get him, that would be nice. But from the way it is, will he be going to OGC?
I think it's an interesting choice. Really, English managers, they don't do well elsewhere.
So you should better stay in England.
Exactly, you just stay at home. I mean, like, we've seen what happened to them. I mean, like, one of the Neville brothers went to Valencia, I think. He didn't find it very funny, and he came back.
It was a very worse
exactly.
situation.
Steve McLaren, I think, went somewhere as well. He didn't find
McLaren went to, was it Real Madrid?
He didn't find it funny, and he came back. I mean, like, even in the Premier League, really, when you look at it, how many English managers actually? No English manager has ever won the Premier League. You know that.
Yes.
You understand? And even in the Premier League, what exactly are they doing? Most of them are escape artists. You know, you're in trouble. You know who to get to actually save you from relegation. You go and you get Big Sam. Big Sam.
Allardyce.
You understand? Of course, Big Sam is
for,
always there.
You go for
he can actually do that for you. Or you have one season wonders like David Moyes. He can actually go there. He did a fantastic job at West Ham last season. Now he's swimming somewhere. Did somewhere that you don't know. So you have English coach, really English at England.
I think the same thing even with the players.
I think it's only
the hype is always very much.
I think Roy Hodgson is the only one that actually went to Inter at one point and he did something worthwhile. But apart from that, it's like that. Once an English player or an English manager leaves the shores of England, that's that. They don't really do well. You can count the number of England players that have actually done something when they went outside the country.
Beckham,
David Platt. You talk about Paul Ince did something
Paul Ince
like that.
Did well.
Yeah. Gaza did something worthwhile. Steve McManaman, he did something worthwhile as well.
That was when he moved to Real Madrid.
Exactly. Yeah. You understand. And then David Beckham, of course.
Beckham did well with Real Madrid.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant player. But even the likes of people like Michael Owen, they went out off the shores of and they couldn't cut it. You understand? So Scott Parker going to Nice, it's an interesting choice. It's really an interesting choice for them if they are, or should I say, an interesting target, because he hasn't been hired yet. So if he does go, I think it will be an interesting one for us to look at and see whether or not it's a gamble. Maybe it will pay off, maybe it won't. But really, when you look at the antecedents of English managers, really, I don't think that's the way to go. Really.
Well, let's see if OGC needs to be getting the man of the moment, Scott Parker, that they're actually running after. That's the man they've seen as the coach, the man rather, that will be taking up the coaching job over there at OGC. This, after all, Pochettino says it's not coming. Well, we look at that story anyway. That's the next story we are looking at. Pochettino, we wait for a top job in England. Spain, or Italy, rather than OGC. Nice. OGC actually talked to him. They wanted him to be their manager. He should believe in their project. But he says, well, maybe your project is smaller compared to what I want to.
You see, the problem with management is the longer you are out of it, the more far away from people's minds you become. You understand? I think Pochettino needs to get a job.
Whatever waiting for
whatever kind of
top job in England,
whatever
Spain,
kind of job it is, he needs to get it. I mean, like, he should be. Right now, he's in the conversation. Whenever they fire a manager, you hear Pochettino. I think whether either it's the club wanting him, or his agent is probing to see if a move can be made. He's there now. But if he goes out for like next 2-3 seasons without getting himself in the job, I think it's going to be difficult for him to come back, because
nobody's remembering Zidane now.
Easily. Exactly. Zidane
gone out of oblivion.
Zidane has faded into oblivion. He's only mentioned when you talk about the French national team that he's waiting for Deschamps to move before he takes the job of the French national team. Even now that there are stories circulating about Allegri being fired in Juventus, you're not hearing Zidane's name. 2 seasons ago, you were hearing Zidane's name when it came to Juventus. You understand? But now, the only time you hear Zidane's name linked to Juventus now is that Allegri will get fired, they will hire Deschamps, and then Zidane will go to the French national team. That is when you hear his name being mentioned.
So automatically, it's always good at least be at that particular sport.
Yeah, get yourself
no matter how little, just get one.
Exactly.
So that you can be relevant.
Nice actually have a very good structure. They have a very good project. I mean, like, administratively, they are sound. They do have some money. It won't be a bad idea. When Carlo Ancelotti came to Everton, everybody raised eyebrows. What was Ancelotti coming to do in Everton? But he wanted to remain relevant. At the end of the day, what happened? He went back to Real Madrid because he wanted to remain relevant and in the conversation. You kept seeing him week in, week out, and he was in your face. So when there was time for Real Madrid to make a change, they were looking at Ancelotti right in front of them. They just went and picked him up. So that's how it is. Remain within in your face, and that's when you can be able to get it. So I think Pochettino is hasty to reject Nice at this time.
Maybe he should have taken the offer, right?
Maybe he should have. Maybe he should have. But
at times, as we are looking at it that way, maybe the job offer actually had some terms and conditions attached to it, which might not be favorable.
There are actually a lot of
him,
things.
His family.
There are a lot of things that you consider when taking a job, and I think, maybe to be fair to him, we don't really know why he rejected it. Not because maybe Nice is a small club, as we say. Maybe they're just
it could be family.
Things.
At times, I remember this player that says his wife doesn't like that city.
Exactly,
that's why he doesn't want to move
and
there.
he doesn't want to move, and that could be something very, very serious. You know, if you want to keep your family together, he doesn't want to be somewhere and his family being
somewhere. Don't like the
because
place.
Most of these guys actually do that. Players, they keep their families in one country, they're in another country, and it's bad for them. So I think it's probably one of these reasons, or the offer itself was really not good enough.
Yes.
Because just because I want to remain relevant doesn't mean I should go and you pay me peanuts. Exactly. So that's
you're not giving me any chance to operate. Maybe they're like, okay, you don't have any say concerning our transfers.
Exactly.
You don't have any say concerning players, this and that. You are just here to be the manager.
Exactly.
Like, no, I can't.
Exactly. Or you want him to be a coach when he wants to be a manager.
Exactly.
You understand? So those are the different things. So we look at it from all angles, but we're just looking at it from the perspective of Pochettino trying to be in the conversation, remain in the conversation, stay in the limelight.
Well, it's always good for coaches to be in the limelight, at least instead of fading into oblivion. It's always very good to be there. No matter how little, just get something doing. You'll be at the mercy of this club. They'll be calling for you because they know you are there consistently. Well, for Pochettino, he needs to get a club. If he wants to go to England, Spain, or Italy, as he said, to get a top job, he needs to get his smaller ones, according to Ibrahim. We've been talking about some of the stories that have been trending in the world of sport. And now let's look at Leicester. Leicester City intend to give under pressure manager Brendan Rodgers more time. Well, news came out that they could sack him. They're actually considering sacking him because of the transfer, international window now. They're now reconsidering that particular thought.
If Leicester had the money to sack Brendan Rodgers and give him all that money that they were supposed to give him, then why didn't they just use that money to sign a couple of players? They should have used that money to sign a couple of players, plus the money they got from selling all those players that they sold. Use the money that you're going to use to sack Brendan Rodgers. It's not Brendan Rodgers' fault. Leicester City's problem is more than Brendan Rodgers. You got rid of a boatload of players, and you didn't get anybody in. How do you expect to perform? How do you expect to achieve? Because you've made your team weaker. Leicester City of this season is far weaker than any Leicester City team that we've seen before. You have not replaced the players that have left, and you still expect Brendan Rodgers to work magic. It doesn't work like that. He's an amazing manager. He's a fantastic coach, you know, and you need to give him the tools to be able to operate. So he's just there now. It's either they let him continue or they sack him and give him 10 million. So I think it's good for him. So really, they don't have a choice, but allowing him to try and get out of this current situation, which is going to be difficult. Mind you, it's actually going to be difficult because with the current players that he has right now, does he have the kind of players that are going to be able to motivated enough to get him out of that? But the good thing about it is, I mean, like, it's season football. It's a league. It's a league. We have 38 matches. You understand? Because you have 5, 6, 7, 8 or 8 bad ones doesn't mean that your season is over. All you need to do is get on a 5-game run, and you're fantastic. So I think that's what he needs: a purple patch within the season, and you can be able to turn things around.
Well, let's look at our last story that has to do with Barcelona can actually suspend or decide to cut ties away from Gerard Piqué if he play less than 35% of matches in the La Liga. Well, right now they can terminate his contract because it will be an earlier one, because right now Barcelona and Gerard Piqué seem not to be having the good time of themselves. I saw the fact that Xavi, the manager, was having little issue with him. The fact that, well, okay, you play less now. If you don't play more, you're going to sit on the bench, and that is not going well. And you look at, he actually went through another issue of separation from his wife, and this is coming up from Barcelona.
Well, I think it's just the university's way of telling Busquets that he should move. She should actually move on. He's had a fantastic career at Barcelona. He's revered there, and I think before things really seriously turn awry, I think he should find a way to.
Generation they've gone. So
exactly. So he should move as well. I mean, like, the Xavis are not there, the Iniestas are not there, Messi's are not there. I mean, like, they've gone.
And Busquets will be going next season, so he should join Busquets.
So he should just really try and see that, okay, fine, okay, Sergio Busquets is going, you guys hold hands, sing Kumbaya and say bye-bye to Barcelona, and probably follow Busquets into the MLS and see if you can be able
make some money.
Exactly, and see what you can be able to achieve there. I think that should be what should be on his mind right now.
Gerard Piqué there, coming from Barcelona. If he play less than 35%, he will be, at least this contract will be terminated, coming from Barcelona at Nou Camp there. That will be it on 360 Sport. I want to thank you, Ibrahim Yusuf.
It's always nice to be here, Adeni. Always a pleasure to talk sports.
Good one there. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.